Hello and welcome everybody to a short episode today. I'm busy getting ready to go to my nephew's baptism, so I'm going to be taking a small trip for the weekend, and I've just been busy sorting out personal affairs here. Now, I'm going to talk about the reputation system. This system is unlocked actually at level 51, I think. 50 or 51? No, 50. Anyway, now the reputation system, I started this project here. And basically, you slot a project and you use energy credits, expertise, and Omega marks. Well, for the Omega Task Force Omega, you use Omega marks. Now, the way you earn Omega marks is usually through these PvE queues. So we could deselect all the rewards and just put Omega marks. And you will earn Omega marks in the difficulty of basic or advanced. Or normal or advanced. Just so when you start these and you don't really know, oh, and then you could select between ground missions in the PvE queue or space. Now, I'm not going to really get into a lot of strategy on how to earn marks, but there's many articles out there that tell you how to earn marks quickly or doing dailies, etc. And this is how you level up your reputation. Now, I before this, I actually did Nukara. It's ready to go up to the next tier. So when you have enough experience to go up to the next tier, it will ask you to claim the first tier of your reputation. You select it, and then you contribute some marks to complete it. Now, as you see, it's going to go by really quick. Done. Collect the reward, and we are now tier 1 Nukara. And now we could slot in a project, and I always do the 20-hour ones, and we're going to select the 20-hour. We're going to slot in energy credits to give, expertise, and marks. And for doing that, we got a Nukara Strike Force equipment requisition box, which gives us special equipment, in this reputation. So we're going to open up the box, and we got an armored environmental suit. We're going to open up the Omega box, and we got anti-Borg assault minigun. And it's a Mark 12. So, the reputation stuff, you get some pretty good gear to put on your bridge officers or for yourself. But there's other things you can do. So, we have the tier 1 unlocked. So, we could get some actual Nukara ground gear. But it requires marks and dilithium. So if we wanted to get these shields, we would be dumping 40,000 energy credits, 9,000 dilithium, and 500 Nukara marks, which is quite substantial considering I only have 325 Nukara marks. And this goes, there's space gear for Nukara. So, there's lots of stuff you could get, and it's all set gear too. So, when you get all the pieces of the set, you get bonuses. Now, I'm so low in the tier that I can't really show you extra stuff, but the reason why you want to go up the tiers in the reputation is for the reputation traits. So, I'm tier 1 in Nukara, right? I unlocked ground traits for the Nukara reputation system. So I could slot these two traits for my ground reputation. So this is another form of character progression, unlocking, whatever you really want to call it. So I'm going to go and actually slot in the new Romulus, and I'm going to keep going. Now, it does take a long time, normally, to climb up the tiers. Like to complete tier 1, you actually need to do the 20-hour reputation twice. So, it's 5,800. Oh, it says 5,000 reputation, and it requires 5,000. Oh, that's right. It's because let me just go down here because there's another thing I want to talk about. So there's an hourly and the 20-hour. So, yeah, see, normally you get 2,500 reputation to go for each 20-hour you do. But if you have a main character and you complete all of these to tier 5 on your main character, you can create. Where are you? There you are. You could create a sponsorship token on your main character who's completed the tier 5 for all these reputations. Now, the sponsorship token is something you give to your alternate character. Now, you need the shared bank to transfer these between characters, so you may need to spend some Zen to unlock the shared bank feature. So, what you do is you give this to one of your alternate characters and you slot it like so, the project. And this project allows you to verify that you have a contact inside this reputation command structure who is willing to sponsor you. And now I get double experience for every project that I do. Remember how I said 2,500? Now I receive 5,000. So we're just going to slot every single 20-hour, which is the daily. And we're just going to go ahead, queue them all up. So Captain Zuriz here could start getting his reputation going. I was saving all of this doing this for an episode. I wanted to do a better one where I discuss each of these, but there's sufficient information online to decide which reputations are worth your time and which have the set gear, the store access, or even the reputation traits that you would find most desirable. There's plenty of information on the wiki, etc. Alright, that is all of them. So we're going to open up the reward boxes. Hooray! And I got a Romulan Plasma Wide Beam Pistol, Mark 11, Biomolecular Disruptor Pulse Wave Assault, Thoron Infused Proloron Sniper Rifle, and a Radiant Anti-Proton Pulse Wave Assault. And a Withering Disruptor High Density Beam Mark 12. So you could get some pretty good weapons. And let's see, how about this on the store? Okay, we're going to switch to my main character really quick because they actually have all the reputation unlocked. And I want to show you some of the set items that you could get. Now, the set items come at Mark 12, very rare. And I just want to kind of show off what kind of beneficial consoles you could get. So I'm currently flying the T6 carrier, and this is from the Radiant the Iconian Resistance reputation. There, that's what it's called. And this is a set that when you have all three pieces, you get a nice. I consider it a kind of nice set. I like my anti-proton weapons on my main character, but I also have consoles that are reputation. Like all my consoles are either from the rep set or event. This is an event console from the Crystalline Catastrophe event 2016. So if you're watching this and you didn't get to do this event, you can't get this console. You had to do it in 2016. But here we are with some other consoles that are from the different reputation systems. Like this is from the Terran Task Force reputation. This one is actually from the Iconian Resistance. This one actually is from a mission reward, a late mission reward got to be level 60 to do that mission, so Zuriz will probably pick up one of those eventually. And as you can see, level 5, tier 5 in all of them. I have unlocked every single special reputation perk, as you could call it. So we're going to go down to my traits. And I said the meta shifts later because for auxiliary power, and this is the main reason why. You can actually get from the Nukara Strike Force reputation. Depending on how high your auxiliary power is, you actually get a damage boost or a defensive boost. So we're going to go into space real quick. Just system space around Earth Space Dock. Nothing crazy, nothing too fancy. And we're going to see exactly how much that reputation trait will do. So here we are in space, and plus 5% all damage based on auxiliary power level. Then plus 20% connect damage resistant rating based on auxiliary power level again. Now I'm going to probably go all in on auxiliary. Look at that. Look at that. Now my power level for my auxiliary is exactly 125. So this is the maximum that you could get unless you overcap your power level of 125, which is something that could happen. You could potentially overcap over 125 depending on circumstances and your build. So that's what makes auxiliary power late game meta when you unlock the reputation system better. I said that earlier. But there's other reputation space reputation slots you could do, like advanced targeting systems, increased crit severity. So these are from the Romulan reputation here. And there's even ground ones. And personally, I like the Omega ones for ground, all of them. But you also get active reputation. And some of them are space, some of them are ground. So what are these? These basically are skills. For example, the quantum singularity manipulation is from the Romulan reputation. Now, I get plus 100 to science stats for 8 seconds. So if I were to say toss gravity well, or I needed to use hazard emitters on myself, I would first click quantum singularity manipulation. Nifty, I go into stealth, and I could still fire my weapons. And then I would toss gravity well, for example, or this whole heal, and it would actually be very substantial in healing because it's a science ability. Now I could also drop a biomolecular shield generator, and that's from the Counter Command 8472 reputation, I believe, or 8472 Counter Command. Yes, right there. And like I said, there's a lot of set items, and also their store, when you go up the tiers, there's a lot more stuff. As we saw in Zuriz, he only had of these ground weapons available. The pistols, the rifles, and the assault. There's also beams. There's also cannons, heavy cannons, and the environmental suits. So there's more items you could buy inside the store. So, for example, there's assault weapons, pistols, and rifles for the Borg, but you'd also buy some consumables. And you could also get Borg prosthetic weapons or duty officers. So there's a lot of things you could actually get through the reputation stores. So this is just, like I said, there's more info online that you could get ready and available, digest it, go through it at your own time. I'm not really going to tell you what's the best to unlock, etc. But it's just something you could do and figure out if it's pertinent to you. Now, I'm just saying, I'm very heavy on the offensive. When I say I'm very heavy on offensive is I have the advanced targeting systems, which increases the crit severity in space combat. I have precision, which increases my critical chance. I have enhanced armor penetration. Then I have the auxiliary power configuration for offense. This dramatically boosts my damage. If I wanted a little defense, I would actually do the auxiliary power configuration defense. I think it's... Oh yeah, and then you could actually unlock the 5th reputation if you get into a fleet lab. I don't belong to a fleet. I've really never been in a fleet. So that's something to look forward to if I could get into a fleet later on, and I'll show you how to do things. But that's it for the reputation system, more or less. There's, at current, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 reputations. The latest one added was the Terran Task Force reputation, so there may be more by the time you start playing, or more added. I suspect there would be because there's a big major update coming up, the Agents of Yesteryear, which should be coming in August after the summer Ryzian event. So that's something to look forward to. And that's pretty much it. There's plenty of information about the reputation system on the wiki, Reddit, there's articles that people have done, and I just wanted to show you how you kind of get the marks. You know, you go into the PvE queues and you could just look for the marks. Sometimes to craft items you may need something like the Borg neural processor. So let me just go into here, go into Task Force for the Borg. So for example, see, I require 3 Borg neural processors to make the assimilated impulse engine. And let's see, let me collapse that. So more space gear. So if I wanted to make these Mako covariant shield arrays, I need 5 Borg neural processors. So I could actually look for those as rewards. And as you could see, you could only get those in the advanced. So the normal, is significantly easier and is a good way to get marks. But if you need the crafting materials, like the Borg neural processors, what else is there? The ancient power cell, Iconian data probe cores, if the Voth cybernetic implants, the Terran gravimetric inducers, if you need those items, you're actually going to have to do harder difficulty